Hi, in this video I'm going to show you each step along the way to work collaboratively with Git and GitHub. I'm just going to quickly show you how to do each step. I recorded a longer video that explains each of these steps in more detail, so check that out if you're looking for more information. So the first step is to fork, and to fork a repository you need to be logged into GitHub, find the page for the repository that you want to fork, and you just click the fork button here in the top right. So that creates your own version of the repository on GitHub under your own username. And to do the next step, which is clone, we need to click this big green button here, clone or download, and copy the URL that ends in .git. Okay. Now we need to figure out where on our computer we want to create that repository and open that window, right click, and in Windows you'll click Git Bash here, or on Mac it will say Open Terminal here. And in our Git Bash we want to type git clone and then paste that URL. Okay, and that creates the directory here on our computer. The next step is to fetch, potentially, if you need to. If you clone and then you're going to immediately branch and start working, then you don't need to fetch. But if between the time of cloning and you actually working on this project, if in that time someone else has made changes to the upstream repository, then you will want to fetch in order to update your repo with those changes. So let's go ahead and set up to make it easy for us to fetch. So in order to do that, we need the URL for the upstream repository. So that's the repository that we forked. So let's click back to that one and then click the clone or download button for this repository, copy that URL, and then let's go back to Git Bash. And right now we're in the directory above our Git repository, so we need to cd or change directory into our actual repo, and then we'll type git remote add upstream and then paste that URL. Hit enter, and we don't get any kind of confirmation message or anything. So let's go ahead and make sure that worked by typing git remote -v, and you should see those upstream URLs there. Let's see. That's just to get the fetch set up. So once we do that, it's easy. We can just fetch with one command. So you only need to do this part once, and then after that, anytime you need to fetch, you can just type git fetch upstream, and since it's the first time we're fetching, it has created three new branches, but importantly it's created a new upstream / master branch, and now we want to merge that into our master branch, and so we do that just like you would merge any other two branches. So make sure you are in the master branch. If you're not, then you can type git checkout master and then type git merge upstream / master. Okay, in this case everything was already up to date. The next step here is to actually start working on this project. So you never want to make changes directly to the master branch. I don't want to say never, but usually it's a good idea not to. So typically you want to create what we call a feature branch. That's a branch that is going to be specific to whatever you are contributing to the project. So I'm going to go ahead and open up these files in Atom. And open up this index file and create a new branch. So I'll click down here on the branch name, click the new branch button. I'm going to delete the slashes here, so I'll call my branch slashes. Okay, so I'm in that featured branch. Now I can go ahead and start making my changes to this code. I'm just going to delete these slashes, save that file. Shows up here in unstage changes. So I'll click stage all, write my commit message. Commit, and then keep doing that, making commits until you are finished with what you are doing. So before we push this to GitHub, the changes that we've made, we want to now just check and make sure that we are still up to date with the upstream branch. So we should fetch again, git fetch upstream, and then check out our master branch and merge our upstream master. And then if there were any commits made to the upstream master, any new commits that we haven't already been seeing in our repository, then it's now a good idea to rebase. So to rebase, we'll check out our feature branch, which in my case is called slashes, and then git rebase master. Okay, once we've done that, then we are ready to move on to the final two steps, which are super easy. We need to push our changes to GitHub. So in Atom, all we have to do is click this button here. If it doesn't say push, then you can just right click and select push there. It might pop up with a login window if you haven't already logged into GitHub. And once that is done pushing, then we should be able to see those changes on our GitHub repository. So let's check that out. If we switch to our feature branch, then we will see the changes we made. And now we are ready for the last step, which is to create a pull request. So GitHub sometimes will see that you've pushed, and it will pop up with like a big green button saying, hey, you probably want to do a pull request now. It doesn't literally say that, but it makes it like really easy to see and click on. In this case, it didn't do that for some reason, but you can always just click this button here that says new pull request. So we will go ahead and click that. And we are just going to double check this just to make sure this looks right. GitHub just sets those for us automatically, but you want to just make sure that this one is set to the upstream branch, the original branch that you forked, or upstream repository that you forked, the master branch. This should be the forked version that is under your profile, and then the feature branch. And here you can write any comments that you want to explain the changes that you made, why you made them, why they should be incorporated into the project. And you can then go ahead and click Create Pull Request. And now your pull request will show up as a pull request on the repository, and people can leave comments, comment on your code, maybe make requests for you to make additional changes before your request is accepted. And that's it. That's the whole process. So again, if you were confused by any of that and need more details about that process, you can check out the longer video that I recorded. And there's lots of good resources for Git and GitHub online as well. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you later.